Chosen one, this message is for you. You have felt it in your heart, the whisper that grows louder, the undeniable pull away from what once felt sacred. You have seen the signs. The churches are not for you anymore. God has decided. The time of seeking within man-made walls is over. The divine is leading you elsewhere. This is not a rejection of faith, but an evolution of it. You have outgrown the structures, the rituals, the expectations of institutions that no longer serve your journey. The spirit within you is calling for something greater, something beyond the walls built by human hands. Before we go deeper, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And if you are truly the chosen one, this message is for you. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to hear could change everything. This is a message of transformation, a message that will stir your soul and awaken your purpose. If you feel this resonates with you, write in the comments your warmest wishes and the number 99. Wishes have power. When you write them down, you set them free into the universe, and they find a way back to you in the most miraculous ways. This is not coincidence. It is divine orchestration. By sharing your wish, you release it with energy. And when many souls unite in this act, the energy magnifies, bringing forth manifestations beyond what you could imagine. Chosen one, the church you once knew is no longer the vessel of truth it claimed to be. It has been diluted, distorted, and transformed into something else entirely. The presence of God is not confined to a building, nor is it dictated by sermons crafted to keep you within boundaries. God is moving, speaking directly to you, beyond the traditions, beyond the interpretations, beyond the intermediaries who claim to stand between you and the divine. You were never meant to be caged within these structures. You were never meant to conform to systems that limit your spiritual evolution. That is why you feel out of place, why the sermons no longer move you, why the rituals feel empty. It is because God has whispered to you, it is time to leave. This is not abandonment. This is ascension. What was once a place of refuge has become a place of stagnation. The moment you feel the walls closing in, the moment the words spoken from the pulpit no longer align with the truth in your soul, that is the moment you realize you have outgrown the system. The path you walk now is one of direct communion with God, without interference, without intermediaries who claim authority over your spirit. This is the path of the chosen. You see, the institutions have taken what was pure and used it for power. They have replaced divine wisdom with doctrine. They have taken what was given freely and demanded obedience in return. They have traded revelation for repetition. But you were not meant to live in spiritual captivity. You were meant to be free. That is why your soul has been restless. That is why you have questioned everything. That is why you are here now, reading this, knowing that something deep within you is awakening. The truth is, you no longer need a church to validate your connection with God. Your relationship with the divine is not dependent on attendance, on membership, on rituals designed to keep you within a framework. The Spirit of God moves freely, and it moves within you. You have become the living temple. You carry within you the presence of the divine, unrestricted and unbound. This is why you feel called to step away. The journey you are on is not one of rejection, but of transformation. You are not leaving faith. You are stepping into a deeper, truer, and more intimate connection with the divine. Some will not understand. Some will question your decision, even challenge you, warning you of consequences. But listen to what is within you. You are being led by something higher than human approval. You are being called to listen directly to God's voice, not the filtered interpretations of men who have built systems around what was meant to be free. They fear losing control over you. They fear what happens when you realize you don't need them to know God. But you were never meant to be controlled. Your faith is not a contract. It is a calling. What happens next will test you. The old world will try to pull you back. The voices of tradition will call you, reminding you of the familiar, urging you to return. But you must stand firm. You are not turning away from God. You are turning toward Him in a way that is unfiltered, raw, and true. This path is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage. It requires trust. But you were made for this. That is why the call has come to you now. Do not be afraid of this transformation. Do not let guilt or fear dictate your path. The divine is not confined to walls, nor is it held within the boundaries of religious systems. You were never meant to seek God only in the places men have built. You were meant to find Him everywhere, in everything, in the whispers of the wind, in the stillness of your own heart, in the presence that surrounds you at all times. The moment you release the idea that church is the only gateway to the divine, you step into something limitless. You step into a relationship that is not defined by schedules, rules, or expectations. You step into direct communion. You begin to hear, really hear, the voice of the divine in ways you never imagined. The world will not understand this, but that does not matter. What matters is that you do. The shift has already begun. The old ways are fading. The systems are crumbling. More and more are waking up, realizing that the presence of God cannot be contained in a building, in a service, in a set of traditions that no longer serve the soul. You are part of this awakening. You are not alone. There are many who are feeling the same call, the same stirring, the same undeniable pull towards something greater. The journey is not lonely. It is just different. And in this difference, you will find a deeper, more profound connection than ever before. So do not look back. Do not second-guess what you know to be true in your heart. This is the path you were meant to walk. You are stepping into something new, something powerful, something sacred beyond what institutions have ever offered. The divine is leading you. Follow, trust, rise. This is only the beginning. You have stepped onto a path few dare to walk. The moment you accepted that the churches are no longer your home, you stepped into a new reality, one that demands strength, clarity, and unwavering faith in what is unseen. This is where the true test begins. You will face resistance. You will feel the weight of expectations pressing against you, trying to pull you back into the familiar. But you were never meant to remain where you were. Growth requires movement, and the divine has called you forward. Now that you stand outside the walls, you will begin to see what was once hidden. You will recognize the patterns that have held people captive for so long. The fear-based teachings, the systems of control disguised as guidance, the silent agreements that demand obedience over understanding. All of it will become clear. You will wonder how you didn't see it before. You will question why you ever accepted what was given to you without hesitation. But this is the nature of awakening. The veil lifts slowly, and once it is gone, there is no returning to blindness. Chosen one, you were never meant to be controlled. Yet, for so long, the institutions of faith have relied on control to keep people within their grasp. They have made spirituality about rules rather than relationship. They have turned devotion into obligation. They have taught people that without them, they are lost. But this is the greatest lie of all. You are not lost. You have been found. You have been freed from the illusion that God can only be reached through a system created by men. This is the part where many falter. They step outside and suddenly feel the weight of uncertainty. Without the familiar routines, without the validation of a congregation, without the guidance of religious leaders, they begin to question themselves. Doubt creeps in. Was this the right choice? Am I truly hearing God, or am I being led astray? But hear me clearly. This is not the voice of truth. This is the conditioning of years spent within a structure that needed you to doubt yourself so you would remain dependent on it. Now you must unlearn what was never meant for you. The path ahead requires you to trust what you feel, not what you were told to believe. You must rebuild your connection with the divine in a way that is pure, without interference, without middlemen. You must come to understand that spirituality is not something that can be contained within a doctrine, nor is it something that needs validation from others. It is something that exists within you, unshakable, untamed, and undeniably real. The institutions have lost their way. Once, they may have held truth. Once, they may have been places of divine connection. But over time, the truth was replaced with control. The fire of spirit was dimmed by tradition. The living word was turned into a stagnant set of rules. And now, the institutions exist not to free people, but to keep them in submission. But submission was never what God desired. God seeks connection, not compliance. He seeks love, not obligation. He seeks those who will listen to him directly, not through the filtered voices of men who have built empires in his name. Do not be deceived by the illusion of authority. Many will try to convince you that without the church, you are lost, that without their teachings, you will stray. But they do not own the truth. They do not own the Spirit. They do not own the divine. God is not confined to their sermons, nor is he limited to the spaces they have designated as holy. He is everywhere, always, within you, around you, calling you into something far greater than they can ever offer. This is why you were chosen. You were given eyes to see beyond what others accept without question. You were given a heart that could not be satisfied with partial truths. You were given a soul that could not be caged by man-made doctrines. This is not a coincidence. This is a calling. You are being led into a higher understanding, a deeper communion, a truth that is unshakable and beyond what the world has known. But understand this: the journey will not be easy. The old world does not let go of its grip so easily. Those who remain within the system will question you. Some will turn against you. Some will accuse you of arrogance, of rebellion, of spiritual blindness. They will try to shame you back into the fold. They will tell you that you have lost your way. But do not be shaken. They do not understand what has been revealed to you. They cannot see what you see. When you look around, you will notice the fear that holds so many in place. Fear of judgment, fear of damnation, fear of stepping outside the boundaries they were told never to cross. But you have already crossed it, and what you found was not destruction, but freedom. The moment you stepped beyond the walls, the moment you released yourself from the grip of religious institutions, you stepped into truth, and this truth will sustain you. You are not alone in this. More and more are waking up. More and more are feeling the call to leave behind what no longer serves them. This is a movement, a shift, a great awakening that cannot be stopped. The systems of old are crumbling. The authority they once held is losing power. And in its place, a new understanding is rising. One where faith is not dictated by men, but discovered by each soul in its purest form. This is why you are here. This is why you were chosen. You are part of something much greater than you can imagine. You are not simply walking away from the church. You are walking toward something far greater. You are stepping into the fullness of what faith was always meant to be. A faith that is not bound by walls, not controlled by men, not dictated by tradition. A faith that is free, wild, and powerful beyond measure. This is the path of the chosen. This is the journey you were meant to take. Keep going. Do not look back. What lies ahead is far greater than anything you are leaving behind. You have walked away from the old, and now you stand at the threshold of something new. This is where the true journey begins, not in the safety of familiar rituals, but in the vast unknown where the divine moves freely. This is the wilderness where you will be tested, where everything you once knew will be stripped away, and where you will be rebuilt into something stronger, purer, and unshakable. The churches told you that outside of their walls, there is only darkness. They warned you that if you left, you would be lost. But now that you are here, do you feel lost? Or do you feel more alive than ever before? That sensation, that deep, resounding sense of awakening, is the confirmation you have been searching for. You were never lost. You were never in danger. You were simply outgrowing what could no longer contain you. This is what they never wanted you to know, that you do not need them, that the connection you seek has never been within the structures of their making, but within you all along. They never told you that your spirit could hear directly from the divine, that you did not need a mediator to translate God's voice for you. They never told you that faith is not about obedience to an institution, but about discovering the truth for yourself. Because if they had, you would have never stayed. But you know now. You know that the presence of the divine is not confined to the rituals they assigned to you. You have felt it in the quiet moments, in the stillness of your own soul. You have seen it in the way the world moves around you, in the synchronicities, in the whispers that have guided you when no one else could. That presence has never left you. It has always been speaking. Only now, you are finally listening. This is the part where your strength will be tested. Now that you have stepped away, the voices of the past will grow louder. People will try to remind you of the rules you were meant to follow. They will call you back, not because they are concerned for your soul, but because your departure threatens their own beliefs. Your courage to walk away forces them to confront something they have spent their entire lives avoiding. The possibility that they, too, have been bound by a system that does not serve them. And so they will resist. They will try to make you doubt. They will question your decisions, your motives, your very connection to the divine. They will say that you have been deceived, that you are straying too far, that you are in danger. But understand this. They are speaking from fear, not truth. They are bound by chains they do not yet see, and your freedom terrifies them. But do not be swayed. You are not here to convince them. You are not here to seek their approval. You are here to walk the path that has been set before you, regardless of who understands it. You are here to follow the voice that has been guiding you all along. This is the true test of faith, to trust what you know in your soul, even when the world around you tells you otherwise. The old systems thrive on fear. They keep people in place by convincing them that they cannot survive without them. They tell you that you need their teachings, their interpretations, their authority. But if that were true, then how is it that you feel more alive now than ever before? How is it that, outside of their control, you are finally beginning to understand what faith truly means? Because faith is not about submission. Faith is about trust. Faith is about walking into the unknown, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust that the answers will come. Faith is knowing that the divine is with you, even when you cannot see the path ahead. And right now, you are living that faith in its truest form. This is why you were chosen. Not to sit in pews and listen to the same words spoken over and over again. Not to follow rules that were designed to keep you small. Not to confine yourself to a version of faith that was never meant to limit you. You were chosen to step beyond, to break free, to seek the divine in ways that cannot be controlled or contained. And this will take courage. There will be moments when you question yourself. Moments when the weight of isolation feels heavy. Moments when the temptation to return to the familiar creeps in. But remember, comfort is not the same as truth. Just because something is familiar does not mean it is right. Just because something feels safe does not mean it is where you are meant to be. You are meant for something greater. That is why the pull has been so strong. That is why you could no longer ignore the voice telling you to leave. That is why, despite everything, you are still here, still listening, still searching. Because deep down, you know that there is more. More than what they taught you. More than what they allowed you to believe. More than what they tried to make you settle for. And you are right. There is more. So much more. Now, the old world is behind you. You have stepped beyond the boundaries that were set for you, and with each passing day, the chains that once held you grow weaker. But do not mistake this moment for the end of your journey. This is where the real transformation begins. The moment you left the church, you entered a world without walls, without restrictions, without the limitations imposed by others. This is your wilderness, your sacred space of discovery. And in this space, you will find what was always meant for you. But first, you must unlearn everything that was designed to keep you contained. For years, the church gave you rules, told you what to believe, how to act, what to say, and even how to think. They shaped your understanding of the divine, making you dependent on their interpretations instead of guiding you to discover the truth for yourself. They convinced you that to step outside their teachings was to walk away from God, that questioning was dangerous, that obedience was the highest form of faith. But now, standing outside of that system, you can finally see it for what it is: control. It was never about leading you closer to the divine. It was about keeping you close to them. But the truth has always been within you. It was there before they taught you their version of faith. It was there before they told you what was right and wrong. And now, your journey is to uncover that truth, to remove every layer of programming that was placed upon you, and to step into the raw, untamed power of your own divine connection. This is not an easy process. There will be moments of deep uncertainty, moments when you realize just how much of your identity was built upon things that were never truly yours. You will feel lost at times, as if everything you once believed is slipping through your fingers. But this is not destruction, it is purification. The old must fall away for the new to rise. The false beliefs must be stripped from you so that only truth remains. Understand this. What you are going through is not a crisis of faith. It is an awakening. It is the realization that your faith was never meant to be confined to the words of men, to the walls of institutions, to the limitations of religious doctrines. It was meant to be boundless, personal, and unshakable. The divine does not need an institution to reach you. The divine has always been with you, speaking, guiding, waiting for the moment when you would finally listen without interference. And now, you are listening. But this world outside the church is not without its challenges. When you break free from the system, you enter a space where there are no predefined answers, no set rules to follow. You must learn to trust yourself, to discern truth from illusion, to navigate the unknown without the safety of structured beliefs. This is where many falter. They leave the church, but they do not leave behind the fear that was instilled in them. They still believe they need someone to tell them what to do, what to believe, how to find God. But you do not need to replace one system with another. You do not need to find a new authority to dictate your faith. You are being called to something greater. Direct communion. A relationship with the divine that is not filtered through traditions, expectations, or human interpretation. This is the highest form of faith, and it requires a strength that few possess. Because true faith is not in rituals. True faith is in trust. Trusting that the divine is with you even when you cannot see the path ahead. Trusting that you do not need to understand everything right now. Trusting that the same force that led you away from the old will lead you into something far greater. This is where you must let go of fear. For so long, fear has been used as a tool to keep you in place. Fear of punishment. Fear of being wrong. Fear of stepping too far outside the lines. But fear is not divine. Fear is a weapon of control, and you are no longer under its power. You have been set free, and now it is time to live in that freedom. It is time to reclaim the joy of knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. That you do not need validation. That you do not need permission. That your journey is yours and yours alone. There will be those who try to pull you back. Not because they hate you, but because they do not understand. They see your departure as a threat, as if your decision to leave somehow invalidates their choice to stay. They will question you, challenge you, even accuse you. They will say you have lost your way. But you know the truth. You have found it. The ones who remain within the system cannot see what you see. They have not yet felt the call to step beyond. But their journey is their own, just as yours is yours. Do not waste your energy trying to convince them. Do not allow their doubts to become your own. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are being led by something far greater than human opinions. And as you walk, you will begin to see the world differently. You will see the divine everywhere, not just in sacred texts or places of worship, but in the smallest details of life. In the way the wind moves through the trees, in the way a stranger's kindness touches your soul, in the way you wake up each morning with a new sense of purpose, even when you don't know exactly where you are going. This is what it means to be free, to see God in everything, to hear His voice without needing a preacher to interpret it for you, to trust that even in the unknown, you are held, guided, and deeply loved. This is why you were chosen, not to follow, not to conform, not to remain within the limits others have set for you. You were chosen to rise, to walk into the unknown with faith so strong that nothing can shake it, to break free from the old and step into something greater. You are no longer who you once were. The journey you have taken, the decision to step away from the structures of men and seek the divine for yourself, has changed you in ways that many will never understand. You are seeing the world with new eyes. You are hearing truth in ways that were once hidden from you. You are no longer bound by the old fears, the old limitations, the old narratives that kept you small. And now you are walking fully in the truth of who you were always meant to be. But the journey is not over. Leaving the church was only the first step. Now you must step into the fullness of what this awakening truly means. This is the part where you no longer just walk away from what was, but where you begin to build what will be. This is where you reclaim your power, where you take back everything that was stripped from you, where you walk boldly into a faith that is not given to you by others, but forged in your own soul. You have already begun to feel it, the quiet voice within you growing stronger, the clarity that comes when you trust yourself instead of seeking answers outside of you, the deep knowing that the divine is with you, guiding you in ways that no sermon ever could. This is your true foundation. Not a building, not a doctrine, not a system of control. Your foundation is unshakable because it is built on something real, direct connection. But with this freedom comes responsibility. You are no longer being told what to believe, how to worship, how to live. Now you must decide. You must discern truth for yourself. You must walk with conviction, knowing that no one can define your relationship with the divine but you. This is why so many are afraid to leave. It is easier to be told what to do. It is easier to follow a path that has already been laid out. But you were not meant for easy. You were not meant for safe. You were meant for something greater, an unfiltered, untamed, and undeniable connection to the source of all things. And now, that connection is stronger than ever. You will notice it in small moments, in the way you begin to hear answers before you even ask the question, in the way synchronicities align so perfectly that they cannot be dismissed as coincidence, in the way your intuition sharpens, guiding you with a certainty you never had before. This is what it means to be truly in tune with the divine. No longer relying on institutions or leaders to tell you what is right, but knowing, deep in your soul, because you are walking in alignment with something greater than yourself. But understand this, the world does not reward those who break free. It does not celebrate those who refuse to conform. You will still face resistance. There will still be those who question you, who mock you, who try to convince you that you have lost your way. But their words hold no power here. You have seen what they cannot see. You have heard what they refuse to listen to. You have touched a truth so deep that it cannot be shaken. You are beyond their reach now. There is no going back. Not because you are not welcome, but because you no longer belong to that world. You no longer fit into the narrow spaces they tried to keep you in. You no longer accept the limitations they tried to place upon you. You are free, and they do not know what to do with someone who cannot be controlled. But that is not your burden to bear. Your path is not to convince others. It is to walk forward in truth, no matter who follows and no matter who stays behind. And as you do, you will begin to find others like you. Those who have also stepped beyond the old ways. Those who have heard the same call. Those who are seeking something real, something pure, something beyond what they were given. You will find them not in the places you used to search, but in the quiet moments, in the unexpected encounters, in the energy that draws awakened souls together. This is not a lonely path. It only feels that way at first because you are ahead of the curve. But more are coming. More are waking up. More are realizing that they too have outgrown the system and are ready to step into something greater. You are not alone in this. You are part of something bigger than you can imagine. The world is changing. The old ways are crumbling. The structures that once held power are losing their grip. And you, chosen one, are here to be part of the shift. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep moving forward. The divine is not behind you in the past, it is ahead of you, calling you into the future. And this future belongs to those who are brave enough to answer the call. This is the final step, the moment where everything changes. You have walked through the fire, stripped of everything that once defined you, and now you stand fully in your truth. The weight of expectation, the burden of tradition, the chains of fear, they are all gone. You are no longer who they said you had to be. You are no longer bound by the limits they placed upon you. You are free. But freedom is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of something far greater. Now, you must decide. What will you do with this freedom? How will you walk in this truth? How will you carry this new awareness into the world? Because make no mistake, this was never just about leaving the church. This was about becoming something more, something unshakable, something powerful beyond what they ever wanted you to realize. This is your time to rise. You are no longer a follower. You are no longer seeking approval. You no longer need permission to exist in your fullest, most authentic form. You have stepped into direct communion with the divine, and in doing so, you have unlocked a power within you that no institution, no leader, no system can ever take away. And that is exactly what they feared all along. Because when you are free, you are untouchable. When you no longer need their validation, they lose their control over you. When you trust your own connection to the divine, their teachings become irrelevant. And when you walk in truth, their illusions crumble. This is why you were chosen. Not to be another voice lost in the crowd. Not to conform to expectations that were never meant for you. Not to stay small so that others can feel comfortable, but to be a light. To stand in your truth, unafraid, unashamed, unstoppable. There will be those who still try to silence you. They will question you, mock you, attempt to break you. But they do not understand that you have already been broken and rebuilt stronger than ever before. You are not afraid of their judgment. You are not swayed by their opinions. You do not need their acceptance. You have seen what they refuse to see. You have heard what they ignore. You have felt the undeniable pull of something greater, something purer, something real. And now that you know the truth, nothing can take it from you. This is not just about you. This is about a movement, a shift, a great awakening that cannot be stopped. The institutions that once held power are crumbling. The illusion is breaking. More and more are realizing that the old ways no longer serve them. That faith is not about obedience, but about direct connection. That spirituality is not about control, but about liberation. And you are part of this awakening. You are here to be a guide, a voice, a beacon for those who are still trapped in the system. You do not need to convince them, but simply by existing in your truth, you show them that another way is possible. You show them that they too can step into their own divine power. You show them that they do not need to be afraid. Because that is the greatest lie of all. That leaving is dangerous, that questioning is wrong, that stepping outside of the system means stepping away from God. But you have proven that wrong. You are more connected than ever before. You are more alive, more in tune, more powerful than they ever told you was possible. And this is only the beginning. So now, the choice is yours. Will you stand in this truth, unshaken, unafraid? Will you walk boldly into the unknown, trusting that the divine is leading you? Will you step fully into your purpose, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? Because the time is now. The world is changing. The energy is shifting. The old is dying, and the new is rising. And you, chosen one, are here to be part of that rise. Step forward. Do not look back. The divine is with you, always. This is your path. Walk it without fear. And never forget, you were chosen for this.